My name is Reverend Dr. May Elise. Today is Friday, May 16th, 2025. Today is day 588. I continue to give these updates every day and just finished 5 days with the manager's team at Churches of Middle East Peace, and we're committed to staying attentive every day. To staying attentive to what's happening in Gaza, to working to an end to the atrocities there, to giving witness, but to working to end the war in Gaza and to pursuing alternatives to military solutions to a lasting peace in the Middle East. In Gaza, the Israeli military earlier today launched ground, air, and sea attacks on the northern Gaza town of Beit Lahia. Palestinians reported the territory's civil defense agency said that overnight at least 50 people were killed. That was after more than 120 people were killed yesterday. One of our key volunteers sent us a message this morning, and they said that they had just gotten this note from a friend of theirs in Gaza in the north. Hello, dear. Unfortunately, the situation has worsened after the handover of the American soldier. The occupation is emptying the northern parts of the Gaza Strip. We are still in our house. Yesterday at night, there were drones flying at very low levels, and I'm worried about the coming days. I don't know what my options are. I don't want to be arrested. They won't differentiate between anyone. I will probably choose to die in my home. The United Nations has said that they are not going to take part in the U.S.-backed humanitarian operation in Gaza, as the effort is not impartial, neutral, or independent. This was a deputy spokesperson of the UN, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio said yesterday that he acknowledged the criticisms of the plan. He said Washington is open to any alternative plan to get civilians aid without Hamas being able to steal it. The Trump administration has said that they are, quote, troubled, end quote, by the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Rubio said that yesterday. It was reported by BBC News. He added that he and Trump spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu this week. The U.S. will make Gaza a freedom zone. Trump announced that yesterday, reiterating the desire to take over the territory during a business roundtable in Qatar. He spoke like that a couple of months ago, and the language was heavily criticized. Palestinians, Arab nations, and the U.S. And the UN had previously condemned the plan from the U.S. administration as amounting to ethnic cleansing. The Cannes Film Festival in France, the southern part of France, mourns the Palestinian journalist who was killed in the Gaza airstrikes. Fatima Hassouna is her name. She was killed on Thursday night. Yesterday, the Cannes film community mourned her passing. She was a Palestinian journalist. They crammed into theaters to watch a documentary about her life in the Gaza Strip. She used to say that this would pass. Recalled the director Farsi, who ahead of the show, the show's name is "Put Your Soul on Your Hand and Walk." And it was held, the viewing of it, in a French, in Cannes, the French Riviera resort town. U.S. aid cuts. You've heard about this all over the world, but U.S. aid cuts will leave millions of people around the world hungry, and millions of pounds of food in storage will go to waste. Food rations that could supply 3.5 million people for a month are moldering in warehouses around the world. The food stocks have been stuck in 4 U.S. government warehouses since the cuts in January were made by the Trump administration. It was stated that that amount of food could feed the people of Gaza for more than a month and a half. In the occupied West Bank, the Israeli military killed 5 Palestinian militants hours after the shooting of that woman who was shot and killed. The pregnant woman who I talked about yesterday, the Israeli military did not expressly specify whether yesterday's operation was linked to her death. So 5 Palestinians were killed in the occupied West Bank. And Israel has said they're going to take full control of land registry in Area C. Area C is 60% of the occupied West Bank. This cements what's been a de facto annexation. So for the first time, this vote happened in the Knesset, and the Israeli government decided to take sole responsibility for land registration, which essentially is a vote for annexation of Area C, 60% of the West Bank. The Spanish ambassador to Israel is set to receive a formal reprimand after the Prime Minister of Spain said that Israel is committing genocide. So the Spanish ambassador to Israel was summoned yesterday for a formal reprimand at the Foreign Ministry in Jerusalem. So the Spanish Prime Minister Sanchez said, quote, "We will not engage in trade with a country committing genocide," end quote. Israeli soldiers who refuse to fight in Gaza. This is a New Yorker article that says Israeli soldiers are refusing to fight in Gaza as Netanyahu rallies troops for an expanded offensive. Some reservists are resisting the call. Spain, Norway, and Ireland have formally recognized a Palestinian state, as there's been a rift within the EU around the question of Israel. Spain, Norway, and Ireland made this decision on Tuesday. It was a coordinated effort by the three Western European nations. And in Lebanon, the U.S. yesterday imposed sanctions on two senior Hezbollah officials and two financial facilitators. Regarding Iran, the Trump administration gave Iran a proposal for a nuclear deal. This was during the fourth round of negotiations that happened on Sunday. No U.S.-backed written proposals have been discussed previously. And in Yemen, Israel's military has again targeted Yemen. They've proclaimed strikes on the port of Hodeidah and As Salif in Houthi-controlled territory. The Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, said the attacks are just beginning. We will not stand idly by and allow the Houthis to harm us. We will strike them with greater force. He said that Houthis are just a tool and that Iran is behind them. In terms of the U.S., free speech in the U.S. continues to be threatened. New York University, NYU, has withheld the diploma of a student who condemned Israel in its graduation speech. He condemned the deadly war on Gaza. His name is Logan Rozos. He's an undergraduate student, and he delivered his commencement speech saying this: "The only thing that's appropriate to say at this time to a large group is a recognition of the atrocities currently happening in Palestine." So, he could not be more right. And the idea that his diploma would be withheld for speaking truth in what's supposed to be the most democratic nation in the world, it's wildly disconcerting, to say the least. It's just devastating. So I'm sure we'll hear more about that. The Indian academic who was held over pro-Palestinian views at Georgetown has been released from ICE jail. I talked about that yesterday. And Ben & Jerry's co-founder was arrested after disrupting Senate hearings because of a pro-Gaza protest. So Ben Cohen, one of the founders of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, which is awesome, by the way, was one of 7 people who were arrested at the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee hearing Wednesday. Ben Cohen was one of 7 people arrested. Cohen rose to his feet and accused Congress of playing a role in the deaths of children in Gaza amid the Israel-Hamas war. I wanted to just let you know about 2 things. One is just that we're in the middle of a mini course right now that's being offered by the Catholic Advisory Council of Churches for Middle East Peace. It's a mini course that started on May 14th. It'll continue May 28th and June 11th. So there are 2 more sessions of that. And the mini course is looking at areas where faith-based institutions are providing critical support, including healthcare, education, human rights, and freedom to the Gaza Strip. So the first part was called Healing and Hope Amidst Catastrophe, the State of Healthcare in Gaza and the West Bank. That was on May 14th, and there will be 2 more coming out very soon. So continue. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate your prayers and the many ways that we're in this together. We won't give up hope. We continue to advocate for peace and justice in Palestine, Israel, and the broader Middle East. May God go before us. Amen.